I don't know if you was on it with the emails, right?
I gave up. I was
All
going
right, one
to, but
day-
then I stopped.
I can say it now because like I'm kind of fake retired. So you know how like they put the emails of the location, like at 7 a.m, whatever.
Right.
I did a little Photoshop, and I seen the pattern when if it rained, that they're gonna postpone it, right? I did the exact same thing the same day with the date, and I just like posted it or like put it in the chat or something like that. I forgot how I sent it.
Yeah.
All the Supreme pages started posting it. like Supreme Hustle.
Yeah.
All of them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. And then Twitter started posting it. And I'm like, oh. So it started going viral.
Yeah. What's good, everyone? Welcome back to My First Kicks. This is episode 220. And this week, I bring to you none other than Zane himself. What is it, Zane Styles? Would you rather be Zane Styles?
I don't know. Like the handle is just Zane Styles, but people just call me Zane.
Yeah. I've been saying is like, I don't know which one to call you. Your rap name? I always gonna be like your rap name. Because like a lot of people just be like, we had this conversation. Also, Dave's in the building. What up, D?
What up?
We had this conversation where it was just like, I know people, but I don't know their real name. I just know them by the Instagram handles.
Yeah.
So then I'll just be like, you want me to like this? I just treat it like it's your rap name.
Honestly, like a lot of people now, like if I'm working with like companies, they be like, do you want Zane Styles or Zane? I'd be like, just Zane, just the artist name, the handle. You just put it out there. That's it.
Yeah. Thanks for pulling up. Let everybody know where to find you too, real quick. Let's get it out in the beginning.
All social platforms at Zane Styles. Just simple like that.
Fire, man. Yeah, your work is amazing.
I appreciate it.
You know, like we had a conversation at AMPM a while back. It was like the women's panel, I think. Women's Airmax panel. So shout out to Gabby, yo.
Gabby.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah. But there, you know, it was that. And then there was something else before that we met. That was the first time we met.
We was in Extra Butter.
Yeah.
For Story Ave.
Oh yes, that's right. And we were talking Graph
because they filmed on Story Avenue where I grew up from. So it's just like I gotta see. And then certain artwork in the movie was featured on there where my friends were featured. So, so just like I had to show love.
Now you just brought back that conversation we had about the whole like, oh, this is the demons and whatever. Like, yo, first of all, shout out to I forgot the name of the director, but Story Ave, if you haven't seen that movie yet, absolutely fire. It takes place in Story Ave in the Bronx. But it's like, I would say it's definitely like the new age graffiti movie. I don't know if you ever seen like Bomb the System. That the movie was fire in my opinion. I thought the movie was fire. Me too. The graph in it was crazy. The room that they like filled up with all like 2Eze's graph and like
exactly.
Yeah, that shit
shout out
was
to
hard.
2Eze. Sure.
I heard that's not how he's supposed to say his name. I heard it's 2SA. 2SA is what I heard.
2 E's, 2 Eze. You know what I'm saying? Out of respect. You know
I want to be sure.
But but he's cool peoples though. He's cool peoples.
But yeah, we had that conversation. What was it that they were using terms? It was just like if you were a demon, you go over everybody. If you were like
if you're like, you know, we call it toys. So
no, that's
toy behavior going over everybody. But it's just like, if you like don't care about the rules, you're just going over everybody, then that's like in lingo, not like that as we call it a demon, but it's just like it's just toy behavior. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't care. So
yeah.
Look,
I love graph, like graph culture. And,
I love graph.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope so. Imagine you're just like, nah, I hate this shit. But graph is definitely part of my life. You know, I used to do it back in the day.
What you write?
I'm not saying that on here.
Because
there was one time I almost got arrested. And
how long ago was that?
That was high school.
Oh my God. I think you're safe now.
All right. I write idiom because I'm trying to be smart. I was trying to be smart.
How you spell it?
IDIOM.
That's a long name.
Yeah. And so I was trying to be like, because idiom means just like language or And I was like, grasp my language. This is like when you know when you first start rapping
yeah,
and you're like, yeah, my name's gonna be like Technical Assassin because like
you're wildin'.
But how'd you come up with yours?
I used to write sketch before, and it was just too long of a name, and then I don't know why, but the Z just drew me in, and I was trying to find something that started with a Z. I went with like Zero, but then I found out like someone else wrote that, but now we're good friends, you know what I'm saying? And later on, I just started playing with words, and then no one had Zane.
Yeah.
And I just went along with it for years, and no one claimed like, oh, like this is my name, such and such. So, and also I chill with like a lot of OGs now, full circle moments now. So no one's saying that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty much good at solidified in the community. Yeah.
That's the hardest part, I think, especially like when you come up with a name and then you find out later that somebody else
I have other people writing my name too.
Really?
Like in Brooklyn and Soho, I ragged everything, but yeah.
That's crazy. I'd be sick, bro. Like how does that even come across? Like, because so one of my favorite movies is like State Your Name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which I can't find anywhere now.
State your name. Yeah. Can you curse on here?
Yeah, of course.
Fuck graph.
Fuck graph,
you know what I'm saying? So,
all the volumes of fuck graph.
All the volumes, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with certain people.
Yeah.
You know, I was trying to say that's in that video now. Like Colo, shout out to Colo. Like that's cool people's right there too.
That but like graph like is a part of my life. So it's really hard when you like trying to make a name and then you start going over and then you just see like people just like in my area now, there's definitely a couple toys, but like I'm not active. So I'm not, but yo, that should be getting me tight when I see it. I'll be like, man, this shit is whack.
I'm a little active. I can't really say much, but yeah.
But let's jump into the question that I ask everybody each week. And that question is, what's your first kicks? What's that first pair of sneakers you absolutely needed to have?
Like my first ever shoe ever that I got in?
I always tell people, it's your sneaker story, your best sneaker story that best describes you.
Oh damn. There's different ways. I mean, when I was younger, I was on that Payless wave, you know what I'm saying? And I used to see my older cousin Joe getting the Air Forces, the Dunks, and I'm like, why not me? And I'm here like Payless shoes and shit, so Skechers or whatever. So I'm like, whatever. And I think my first shoe was it was a sneaker store. I forgot what it was called, but I purchased these Dunks. I was like a size 6.5 back then.
Hey.
And it was like navy with like that light gray. I can't remember the name, but it was like that Yankee themed colorway.
Yeah.
That was like the actual first Dunk I had. But first Jordan, where I was beasting for, was Jimmy Jazz, like 3 in the afternoon. I was begging my dad because I seen it at the window, Citrus 7s.
Hey, that's crazy. And they just recently came back. Like they came back.
Yeah,
out.
they retroed it. Yeah, but my first ones was that.
Yeah,
like my first real Jordan, and then my first real Campout was Space Jams.
Whoa.
Like as in high school, but we could get into that later. But that like technically my first shoe was a must have was Citrus 7s.
What was that like? Where are you from? Like where are you from originally?
I'm from the Bronx.
Okay, yeah.
Born and raised from Soundview. Grew up in Hoax Point.
There you go.
Know what I'm saying?
You're like the second person from Soundview? Yeah, because I think J Tips is from Soundview or near Soundview.
I think he's near Soundview.
Yeah. No, T-Mark.
T-Mark. Okay.
T-Mark's from
Shout out to
Soundview.
T-Mark.
Shout out T-Mark. But like, what was that like going to school with those? Did it just...
No one really paid attention. I just felt like, I was fitting in where like, okay, I'm catching up, but it's expensive. I don't have a job or anything like that. So I was keeping up with the culture and stuff like that. And I think around that time I was doing Kid Robot.
Oh, okay.
When they were in Soho.
Yeah.
I used to go with my grandmother every other weekend.
And you just pull up?
I would just pull up, cop some Kid Robot gear, and then this is when I was in my skater boy phase.
Hey, I think everybody had one, especially like 20. Would you say like 2010-ish? Like
way before that.
Like 2006, 2007?
Like middle school. I was rocking Kid Robot.
Okay. Yeah,
Not mean. That's a while ago.
I've only had one Kid Robot shirt. Like,
I still have pieces.
You do?
It's just a size medium where I can't fit. I'm an XL, by the way. So, yeah.
In case Kid Robot, you find some Kid Robot in the basement, you want to send it Zane's way.
Hell yeah.
Nah, yeah. Kid Robot was a movement though. It was just everybody was. It was crazy.
Yeah. If you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
R.I.P. to Kid Robot.
Yo, that whole little small area too was always lit because it was like you had the Bape store, you had Kid Robot.
Exactly.
You had you did.
This is when Bape tees were. No, not Bape tees. BBC.
BBC, yeah.
With the penguin on the skis for like $80.
It's crazy.
I still have that. It's fucking yellow now. But yeah. It's a white tee with the thing, but it's still there.
Yeah. Was this when ice creams was going crazy too?
Yeah, right there on West Broadway.
Get the beepers. Those is crazy, man.
Yo, this is like nostalgia here. It's just like a dopamine just hitting right now. It's crazy. Hell yeah.
That's wild. So like, I definitely want to know, how'd you first get into graph? Because like, you know,
how I got into graph.
Yeah, I want to know that story.
Okay, so this is where I already figured out my name. I'm here, but I'm still young. I can't sneak out, you know. And I used to chill around my dad's neighborhood, and you know, I would go explore. You know what I'm saying? Because right there's like the not the track, but it was like a roadway where like you're going into Soundview Park and then people take bikes and stuff like that. Around the block, you know how do you have like those either mailboxes or like the firefighter things, those red things? Yeah. So I think to me that's where everything started because I popped tags, like, you know, marker tags.
Yeah.
Boom. Then when I came back around the block to see whatever, just chilling, it was all ragged. And I'm like, what the hell? So then I ragged it again.
Yeah.
And then I came back again the other day, and then I just see like two people around there. So I didn't pay no mind. And I just started ragging whoever ragged me. And they were like, hey, what you doing? That's me. And I'm like, you rag me. And then we're here arguing about a fight over rag marker tags. And I'm like, yo, bro, but my thing was there already. I ragged you because you ragged me. And then we just started whatever. And then we just all became friends. That was the funny thing. And then that's when everything like opened up. And then I started seeing other people and stuff like that. But I really got into the graph world because my cousin, you know, he was into it first, and then I was into like fine art sketching or whatever. I wasn't into graffiti yet.
Yeah.
And it transpired into me exploring this whole new medium and world. It was just like addictive, bro.
Did you like, you know, like this was it sounds like around high school time or like middle school time, right? So like, did you start pursuing art that way, or did you treat it like it was like a separate thing?
I kind of treated it like a separate thing, but it was just like all of my notes were graph.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure.
If I have like a notebook, and you know how like when you have the lines, you have the little thing on the side. I used to just write Zane, Zane. The margins. I just write Zane for no reason, just tags. It's just that. And then I started meeting other people, and then I'm here feeding to paint, and I'm here doing a lot of dumb shit, just painting, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just here like trying to make a name for myself in the community.
Do you have like a crazy story from that?
From when younger?
Yeah.
Let me think. Like how crazy we're talking?
I mean, how crazy you want to get? Like, I mean, were you running through the streets? You know, you had to dip a couple cops. You know, like
honestly,
crazy.
I haven't dipped from any cops because I know how to move.
Yeah,
and also if I was to paint outside with people, I need good lookouts.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're gonna, you know, trust me with your life, then I expect the same.
Yeah.
Because me and you have both sides to lose, right?
Right, yeah.
So at that time, they weren't doing DATs. You know what I'm saying? They were just locking you up.
Wait, what's DATs?
It's like a fine.
Oh, I never heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, so instead of being there for like days, and then see a judge, you just you be there for like 2 hours, pay a fine, and then you just go home.
Oh.
That's what's happening now, but that hasn't happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Crazy story. I got a story that got me mad.
What?
So we was, you know, in Lehman High School.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my boy Zane. And we wanted to hit some spot, and there was a school dance.
Yeah.
You know, we just walked out, doing our thing, and then we're right there under the 6th line, and then we see some spot that we wanted to hit. So I was looking out for him first, and then I came in, and I, for some dumb reason, I threw like my hoodie or my jacket over.
Uh-huh.
And by the time I came back and did my thing or whatever, this is when I had a psychic LX. I found out that I lost my psychic, and I was so pissed.
Oh my God.
And I went back to the spot, nothing there. And I'm like, yo, my mom's gonna kill me. So but there's other stories I'm trying to remember, but that's like one I could think of top of my mind right now. As not as crazy, but
you really think that you can keep watching this episode without subscribing, or leaving a comment? Come on, man. And also, if you've been listening to this episode, leave a review. But back to the episode.
Let me see. One more story. Try to think of recent.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go recent?
No. But if it fucks up your timeline, nah.
No.
We good.
I was just like, I was wondering, is just like, you know, well, the hardest thing now is obviously, you know, writing on trains.
That's an extra. That would definitely give you red stars. GTA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You five star,
yeah.
Instantly.
Instantly. Yeah. So it's either you write on trains, government buildings, 5 stars automatically. They'll try to find you. Vandal Squad will try to find you.
Ugh.
So you just, you know, stay low. Just keep painting.
The one story I've always loved hearing is about like Revs, and how Revs wrote through his diary in the train station.
Wow.
Yo, did you ever go through the train station and see that?
No, but I've been through tunnels.
Yeah, I mean the tunnels.
Yeah, I've been through tunnels, but I haven't seen that. But you know, Freedom Tunnels is a fire vibe too. Though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm too scared.
That's like on the west side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Freedom Tunnel is like very you get lost.
Yeah.
Mentally. Not like lost like you can't find your way.
Yeah.
But you know, you get lost in the art because it's like years and years of, because remember back in the day in Freedom Tunnels, people used to live there.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole government thing, and then they took people out, you know. So Freedom Tunnels is named after someone that named the Freedom Tunnels. I forgot his name. Sorry, but that's the history of it. And then it's just old art graffiti from back in the day to now.
I definitely got to check that.
Yeah. There's definitely videos on YouTube where people's just exploring.
Yeah.
Not just graphing, they just explore and they just go into different tunnels. And the Freedom Tunnel was like one of the most known ones for sure.
That's crazy. So then, all right, so shift back to sneakers. Were you able to continuously, you know, you said you didn't have money, but like at what point did you
get into sneakers?
Yeah.
In that vibe?
Yeah. When the culture hit you.
All right. So culture hit me, right? When I was restoring sneakers. So I was no one at the time. This was like maybe like 2013. I could say I was fixing sneakers at a fast pace, and people didn't know what to do. They were like, this phenomenon, this new thing, like what the hell?
Yeah.
And people were just trusting me to give it to me, you know. And then I'll have it done like in a week.
That's crazy.
And then the most commons were like 3s. You know, I'll just do a deep clean, you know, shit like that. And I made a lot of money out of it. And then one day I went to like GameStop because I wanted to buy a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
I was just bored. I was like, all right. And when I was going to GameStop, right there's a Models, and I see like 2 people like just sitting on a camping chair. I'm like, what y'all camping for? And they were like, oh, we're here for tickets for Fire Red 3s.
Whoa. Okay.
That was way back.
Yeah.
So Fire Red 3s. And I'm like, oh, word? I'm like, all right, I'm going to go inside. And then they said that they give tickets on so today, that day was a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I brought the game. I came out and I was like maybe 3rd or 4th online. And they gave a guaranteed ticket so you could go purchase on Saturday. So I'm like, cool. So I'll buy my own shoe. You know what I'm saying? So this is like when I'm trying to catch up with my cousin mentally. So I'm like, I'm here getting sneakers, but not as on my own, like buying my own sneakers.
Yeah.
So I don't have a job yet or anything. So I'm just here like, okay, cool. And once I got it and I put it on, it didn't fit me. It didn't look right on my foot. So I sold it. Then I went back again Wednesday. Started getting my own personal pairs, finding out. and I was on 23's back.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? I just kept focusing on that, kept going back and back and back. And then from one shoe, then I had friends was like, yo, what's up? Can I go with you? I want my shoe. I'm like, yeah, come through. And then whatever. And then from one shoe became a pre-order. Pre-orders, the high was $250 back then.
Jeez.
A high back then, $250.
I remember. The jewelry store used to do that shit.
You know what I'm trying to say? So it was just like, and then from 2 to 3, then 4 to 5, and then 10 to 20. And then that's when managers got involved and want to get a piece of it. And then I'm here backdooring, and I'm here like, oh shit, it's active right now. Yeah. And then I'm here camping outside for the tickets while I'm getting shit from the managers.
That's crazy. How the hell did that happen?
Everyone eats. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I got into the sneaker resale culture.
Yeah.
And it just picked up like that. And
you know, a lot of people don't believe that's actually a real thing. And I like resale culture is a real thing.
Bro, we made history.
Yeah.
If people know, we made history, bro. If you wasn't top 15, you're not getting nothing. And that's related to Supreme. But we're not gonna go there yet.
Dude.
But
this is what I was been waiting for this shit. Because this is why. Because there was several times I've been skipped. I was like,
I'm sorry.
And I was like, there was I was on Preem. I've told this story before. I was on a Preem line and I was fourth in line. And this is for the SB, the first SB Jordan 1. The Craig Steck ones.
Okay.
Right? The black and green ones.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So those drop, right? Fourth in line. Bro, standing there, dude pulls up out of his car, and I'm like,
just walked in front of me.
And he's like, my chairs is right there. But I'm fourth in line, so I'm not the first person to be like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Right? So, because if I was up there, I would have said it probably would have been a problem.
Yeah.
But so he comes up, he does that, and then it went from me being fourth to me being 15th because he just brought like 8 of his people with him. And I was like, yo, this is crazy.
No, we fighting. I'm making a scene.
So these is your mans.
Maybe. I don't know who.
But so I definitely want to know how, because that, like, how did that start for you? Because I know you said everybody eats, but like it's gotta be.
How did I end up with who I ended up with?
Yeah.
Fast forward models. I had a friend named Froggy. Then I was in college at the time now, right? So I'm in college, I'm here getting money, doing the restoration stuff still. It was active. Then I'm here doing pre-orders and stuff like that. So I'm here making money on my own, entrepreneurship, hustling. And one day he was like, yo, we out to DQM. We're going to camp out. And this is when I was first camping out in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Now I'm out the Bronx.
Yeah.
Like I already had the Bronx on lock with like different Foot Lockers already and Jimmy Jazz's hyperactives and stuff like that. So I'm already like, all right, I'm good. Let's go get some more exclusive stuff now, right? So he takes me to Manhattan, DQM, and this is where later on I meet Lou. Lou the Don. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. So I meet Lou the Don. This is when he was trapping and all this shit like that in the Lobas. Like, yo, I seen a lot of shit, bro. And I'm the youngest one out of everybody. So I'm just chilling. And we just been camping out for 5 days.
Yeah.
And we was camping out for the Tiffany Dunks.
Oh, that's crazy.
The high tops.
The high tops, yeah.
The high tops.
The high tops.
To me, that was like the coldest camp out of my life.
Yeah.
Because we was in, I had like 3 layers of North Face, and I had like, those tiger or like those graphics of the blanket, those Mexican blankets.
Yeah.
That still wasn't warming me up.
The Sherpa joints, like they're like lined. Yeah. They're like soft with the fleece type of thing. Yeah.
I was like, nah, bro. So, but that release, this is when I met everybody in that circle. Dre, Soul Street, I met everybody from there. And then we just started doing it more and more. And then we just became that one clique where we were just top 10 most of the time. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be with Lou and Booze, camping out in the white van bandits, just chill, smoking, all that. Then it went into all MSG to what's that thing called? All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Everything just changed after that, bro.
Oh, that was the one in Brooklyn. That one.
No, we went to MSG, the pop up right there.
Oh, okay.
They did mirror foams
Yeah,
and all that stuff.
I
Like
remember
that.
you talking about. I was saying that was All Star in Brooklyn. Was it that year?
Oh yes, because they were doing different releases,
right,
different stores and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what shoe was that.
But the main one was MSG.
Yeah.
And then everything else was, I don't know if you remember, we were collecting pins per store.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yo.
That's crazy. So like, so you were reselling this entire time? Well, like you converted into reselling and also doing the sneaker cleaning?
So it got up to a point where, like, say that you ask me, can you do this, right?
Yeah.
I'll say yes, and I'll give you the amount of days at this much. And I'll give you a deal if it's more than 3 sneakers. Cool, right? Then they hit me with the, how do I know if you're not going to take them?
Right, of course.
But you hitting me up.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, and I just, it's not reverse psychology. It's just like, well, you coming up to me. If you feel comfortable with someone else, that's fine. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? You need it.
Yeah.
So if you want to do business, whatever. And then they be like, okay, fine. And that's how they fold.
Yeah.
But I used to do everything. And it was up to a point where that was getting annoying at that point. But I get it. But it was just annoying. And I couldn't focus on being outside and being inside.
Right, yeah.
Because now I have like 50 pairs of shoes I got to finish. But then I can make about $3,000 this weekend.
Right, yeah.
So it's either fuck these shoes or go outside.
Right.
So I'm going outside.
Right, exactly.
So once I finished everything, I just gave everything back and I just stopped doing it. And I just started camping out with Dre and everybody else.
What do you have, like a crazy camp out story? You gotta have one.
Oh my God.
You gotta have one. Cause you was outside. Cause like, yeah.
I remember it was Carmine Sixes.
Carmine Sixes.
I had like 5 to 6 stores unlocked and I was camping out for everything at the same time with the tickets behind register and all that. And one day in Modell's, like, I had all my young boys, you know what I'm saying? But they were there. It's not like I left the chair there.
Yeah.
They were all camping out, but they were just in the car. But the parking lot is like not that far.
Right.
Like the store's right here. We're in the parking lot. We're camping in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So morning hits. I don't make it hot. You know what I'm saying? I don't make it hot. So, but 2 resellers know that I'm getting it, right? So it's like I had all these people get in line in the morning. They got up, got in line. And at that time, it was men's and kid sizes.
Yeah.
So per person, I'm like, take both men and kid. I need all that, right? I need all that.
Yeah.
Give me that. And then I already have my shit to the side with other shit. So it was just like, okay. And once like they gave me like all my young bulls was giving me like the tickets on the side or whatever, they kind of peeped it. And then they just wanted to jump me right there. They were like, yo, it's not fair. Like, how you let all these kids skip us? I'm like, they were camping right here. What are you talking about? Yeah. Like, they were dead ass in the car. What else do you... And then they were just so tight. And then they were like, okay, bet we're going to see you Saturday, and whatever, right? So, boom, I never seen them. Right? One day, we was camping out in House of Hoops. In 34th Street.
Right, yeah.
For Ferrari 14s.
Ooh, wow, okay.
So I was like top 10. Right? And I'm here in my black book, drawing. I'm chilling, slippers like this. Know what I mean? I'm chilling. I'm like, I got my shorts. I'm ready for tonight. You know what I'm saying? So I got cozy. I'm like here like this. I'm chilling around my peoples. Yeah. All I hear was, you remember me? I look up. I'm like, oh. And then he goes, you didn't think I was going to see you again? It's a small world, homie. And I'm here like, yeah. Okay. And he said, all right, watch what happens tonight.
So he came to talk to you and then just to give you a warning?
Supposedly he just came, I think, to get on the line. Yeah. But the line was already fucking carajo land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was just like... You're in the back of the line talking shit.
Yeah.
And you stood there all night, and I've been there all night, so you didn't do nothing. You could have did something.
Yeah, for real.
But all my people was there though too. So we would have hopped you. You know what I mean? And you're a grown, like he's older than me.
Yeah.
He's older than me. Like 40. I'm like, yo, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh man.
And then also I didn't cut nobody.
Right, yeah. You was
everyone camped. I make sure we call them bodies.
Yeah. I
told them everyone has to be here. If you're gonna go eat, let me know.
Right.
Come back.
Save it.
Come back. Don't go home, sleep over there, and then come in the morning. You're gonna fuck up my whole situation because people watch.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? So I just make sure of that. But I think that'd be like kind of a crazy story, but just like as a dumb one. And then later on, like I seen him again, and then it was just like we make amends. But I haven't seen him after that. But but just at that time, I'm like, really, nigga? Like, really? The fuck?
It's ridiculous, though.
Yeah, so I'm just like, yo, bro, like.
New York lines is always something.
It's classic, though.
Yeah.
It's classic. What else? I remember. So you said crazy stories as campouts?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. We love a campout story here.
I could give you one more. I don't want to take too long, but
this is your shit. We here for you, man.
Here for me. If you're giving me a shoe, I could try to tell you a story.
I mean, you got Galaxy foams on. You got anything with that crazy? Because like that turned.
I mean, that was like All-Star Weekend, House of Hoops, 34th Street, tents, all that.
Yeah,
not that crazy, but
or like Supreme dunks. Was that? I know that was a
Supreme. Oh my god. When we was chasing the parks, that was crazy.
Oh yeah, man.
So I remember, like we was trying to get all these locations, and we would get the location, and I remember riding the bike. I think it was with me, Deadstock, and someone else or whatever, and we was just from the city to the Bronx.
Yeah,
I never exercised that much in my life. Know what I mean? That was insane. Oh, it was the craziest campout was, how before even that happened, right? It was me, Lou, Booze, and a couple people in the van, right? We would camp out Sunday night so we could get on the list for on Monday.
Yeah.
We was camping out in Carls Park in the lower, right?
Yeah.
So we could get on the list for Thursday.
Right.
So security will walk up into the park and then take our names down, whatever, right? One day, this is when everything changed.
Yeah.
One day, everyone was chilling, right? So we all lined up, right? So we get out the car and now we're lined up towards like the basketball court, but like maybe like towards where the bathrooms is, going up more towards that way. So we all lined up. No one's doing nothing. I see people playing dice in the line, but no one's making a ruckus or anything, right? We're waiting to get on this list, and a guy named Arthur, right? He was head of security in London or something like that, right? And he comes up and was like, well, we're gonna do a new location because no one, everyone's smoking weed and playing dice. Like, this is not cool.
Just last minute like that?
Yeah. But mind you, Carls Park has a lot of crackheads.
Yeah.
So what do you expect us to do? We're just chilling, right? And then he was like, well, the new location is in Thompson Park. Everyone scattered like roaches.
Yeah.
Cars. Panicking. Me, Lou, and everyone, when we got there, we was about to fight everybody. Because now there's a whole new line.
Right, yeah.
There's a whole new line.
You went from first to middle or whatever.
To whatever. We shut that down, bro. You bugging, bro. Like, you're talking about a risk of safety, but you made a risk of safety when you have us transferred to a whole new park.
Right.
And everyone's scattered, bro, trying to get there first.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like this on the gate. By the time they got to the park, they were like this, right? And then we're like, yo, we're not we're not gonna let anyone get on that list today.
That's crazy.
So we're like here, like trying to take the list, like trying to take the paper like off the security. Like,
really?
Yeah, like we wasn't with it, bro. Like how you have us camp out Sunday and just for you to do that because you feel like it wasn't safe for people when we was all chilling.
Yeah, exactly.
We wasn't rowdy or anything. So it was just, bro, that was ridiculous, bro. And that's when the start of everything happened with the parks and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That was ridiculous.
And
bro.
then that's when they started moving the location.
The emails and all that. Yep.
And now it's
I could tell you one more crazy story.
Okay.
One more crazy story. I don't know if you was on it with the emails, right?
I gave up. I was
all
going
right, one
to,
day,
but then I stopped.
I could say it now because like I'm kind of fake retired.
So
you know how like they put the emails of the location, like at 7 a.m, whatever. Right. I did a little Photoshop, and I seen the pattern when if it rained, that they're gonna postpone it, right? I did the exact same thing the same day with the date, and I just like posted it or like put it in the chat or something like that. I forgot how I sent it.
Yeah.
All the Supreme pages started posting it. like Supreme Hustle.
Yeah.
All of them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. And then Twitter started posting it. And I'm like, oh. So it started going viral.
Yeah.
Mind you, it's not canceled. So we're outside. Getting to the location, I was like top 5. And then they were like, what the hell? Like, we followed this email. And then they were saying, yo, this email is fake or whatever. And I'm like,
I think I remember that. Yeah, I think I remember that.
That was me.
That was crazy.
So I was like, just fucking around. And I didn't think it was going to go from this little thing to a whole mile.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, my people benefit off of it, like out of fun and games. So like, please don't ban me, but like, that's over now. But I'm just
pretty
saying,
sure you're good. I'm pretty sure you can just walk in now.
Yeah, I'm good. I just haven't seen everyone in a while. So, yeah,
exactly. But all right. So I'm curious, how'd you end up shifting into doing your art more? Because like now you went from sneaker cleaning to
reselling heavy. So I used to do art here and there in the resale thing, but it was like I was always an artist and graphing, but it was like I was just so focused on the money because at a young age, like I was making more than a 9 to 5. My parents, they supportive, but at that time it was like, yo, you need Social Security, you need Medicaid, all the traditional stuff. Like you need a job. Just to be secured. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm here chasing this bag and I'm making more money than you, respectfully.
Yeah.
At a young age.
Yeah.
So I was doing all that, and then fast forward, like it hit to I was talking to this girl at the time, and she sends me an application.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. I sign up. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, whatever. One day at a Supreme, I was chilling at Destock's crib, and we was in the backyard chilling, whatever, smoking and shit. And we ended up, I ended up reading a DM, and it was like 3 days old. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm looking at it. It was like, oh, you've been chosen. Please answer your email. Wow. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it, and it says, we are cultivator. So I'm like, okay. I know a couple people that did the last one.
Yeah.
Which was with Ish and everyone else in that group.
Yeah.
I remember that drop. And I'm here like, oh, I'm doing a similar drop.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm looking at everything, and this is like, oh, Nike. And everything's hitting me later. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. It's happening. So I'm looking at the guideline. We have a month, like the whole like when to do this, when to do that, like a whole itinerary of like the drop.
Yeah.
When to tease, when not to tease.
Yeah.
When you do this. So We Are Cultivator, it was a Nike program where they were getting creatives to, which is like basically a Nike ID. And you build your own silhouette with the colors that they provide you.
Yeah.
And you market yourself.
Yeah.
Right? But the only thing is that they're making the shoe, you market yourself. So I'm
Right.
like, all right. So I felt like I was on a high pedestal
Mm-hmm.
due to the fact that I was in the sneaker community heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here like, okay, probably everyone expecting something good for me.
Right, something crazy.
And so I felt even more stress.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, how am I gonna do this? Right.
Mm-hmm.
They offered I think it was a Nike React, a Nike 270, and a Nike 200.
Yeah.
200 was a fresh silhouette at the time.
Mm-hmm.
They only had 3 silhouettes.
Yeah.
But I felt like my marketing brain was like, I think Nike wants us to find a way to market the 200.
Right, yeah.
Because they already released the React and the 270 already.
Yeah.
It's already been a couple colorways. Now it's the 200. I was gonna switch it,
Mm-hmm.
and I just stood there, and I did all that. And this release was specifically 28 creatives of New York only.
Yeah.
Prior was different states. Now this was just a straight New York release.
Yeah.
Fast forward, we had a deadline to submit everything, and we submitted that. I kind of like the colors. I was trying to build the color blocking as how I do a fill-in.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I use graffiti in a way to build that, in a sense. And then that's how you got the red and towards the blue fading with the Tiffany
Is this
color.
the shoe you got right here?
I think so. Is it here?
Is it here?
I don't know.
Because you're describing it. It sounds like what you
Yeah.
showed me earlier.
I think so.
You wanna-
Yeah, you go ahead. Take it out. Yeah, hell yeah. Oh shit. How you got those? Nice. Wow.
There you go.
I haven't seen a fresh pair in a minute.
That's crazy. These are crazy.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
Yeah, so Nike Airmax 200, aka brushwork.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people thought that I did the swoosh because it kind of represents me.
Yeah.
But a Nike artist from in there just gave it to us as a throwaway.
That's crazy.
I found that out at the end.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, let me have it. let me try to do something with it, you know what I'm saying? So, so I capped out at 400 pairs.
Uh-huh.
I sold out in 5 days.
That's crazy.
Liz sold out in 2 days
Uh-huh.
due to, she's doing, donating it to, mental health and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
I know everyone's going to gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
And then with me, it was like a simple 5 posts. I didn't leak. I tease here and there, but, I felt like my thing was very organic.
Mm-hmm.
And the sneaker community really supported, as in they were seeing me as Sean Witherspoon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know
yeah.
how he has issue, but he's a reseller.
Right.
What Nike person will work with a reseller?
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm trying to say? So it was kind of that market point like that. So it was just like, oh, okay.
No, yeah. You
Yeah.
you separated yourself by being outside.
Yeah.
And so everybody connected with you because they knew you.
I just felt like it was more organic because it's like not a nowadays is an influencer. Companies want to go for influencers
Right,
because
yeah.
they're popular at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that they've been outside knowing the culture. So I just felt like I put in enough pain for where people believe in me
Yeah.
to be like, no, he's authentic.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not doing it for clout or whatever. So that's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel too with anything.
I mean, these are nice, man.
Mhm.
Like,
Hell yeah.
shoot. Now you make me want. I'm gonna have to find my own pair. So,
The only
these are-
hell yeah. And then
this
the
is
back,
crazy.
and then in
the
back,
the
it
back
says
"Stay woke."
it says stay woke. I got inspired by because at the time I was doing political stuff with my
Yeah.
tags.
Yeah.
And also stay woke was influence as well on a song. Redbone.
Redbone. Yes. Yeah.
So I used to listen to Redbone a lot, and
Me too. Now that's
and
one of my
Stay
go-to.
woke.
Yeah, that's my go-to
Nah,
karaoke song.
You know what I mean? So so a lot of people don't know that that's kind of an influence from that too
That's
as well.
sick. I mean, yeah, because now I'm seeing it like when you look at the back because you use the same colors as the cover of the album cover.
Exactly.
And so yeah, that's
Mhm.
That's fire.
Hell yeah.
That's fire. So did this propel you to pursue art more?
So when my bio, so Nike wanted us to tell a story, right?
Yeah.
The story was, like, what's my story? Not a reseller, right?
Mm-hmm.
More like me being like, I think the bold statement was in my bio was, up and coming artist, that wants to see his town as a coloring book, but also wants to let people know that to stay woke from your surroundings of everything.
Yeah.
And one day I'll be the next cause.
Mm-hmm.
That was the statement I put out there.
Mm.
And that was the story I went with. And everyone else had a story. You know what I'm saying? They have a agenda of why and this, right? So this was my why.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward, this is when everything was coming with Airmax Day, and I had my whole year planned out until COVID hit.
Yeah, crazy.
So since Nike looked into me as an artist, this is where like, okay, I'm gonna take art more seriously.
Yeah.
That was my turning point.
Yeah.
Where like, okay, COVID's happening, Foot Locker apps is happening.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to eliminate camping out. I don't want to do online.
Yeah.
I don't want to get a bot.
Yeah.
I know how to get it, but I don't want to. I'd rather physically go get it myself.
Right. Yeah.
And have 10 other bodies with me and just go get it. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather do the old fashioned way, but it was like, maybe is my time to turn point. Maybe take COVID, like that whole, like, how you say that sit down, like,
the quarantine?
To, like, the quarantine to like just focus on my craft, bro.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to focus on getting better. That was my main goal after that, during that whole downtime.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't going out to network parties and stuff like that. I was trying to support everybody. You know what I'm saying? At that moment. And I felt like I would have been on a higher peak if I didn't have COVID.
Yeah.
I mean, not me, but if COVID didn't hit.
Right, yeah.
My whole calendar would have been lit right now. But shit happens, bro.
No, yeah, I definitely wanted to touch on, like, because I feel like it's I don't know if it's a soft area for you, but like when crack passed.
Yeah, man, that hit hard, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You did a beautiful mural for him.
Yeah.
I'm
still trying to find a mural. It's not easy to find.
Yeah.
Where like I could ask the establishment, like, like, obviously my goal is I wanted to do Orchard Street.
Yeah.
There's a wall, but it's like, it's kind of difficult to do, to ask, because you have to ask this landlord. It's not even the store owner that's in the store. They just renting it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have nothing to do with that. It's just like, I'm trying to find either there or Jersey, where he's from. I knew crack for a long time, bro. Even in the beginning, like, that he started coming around with RV and everybody else and stuff. And like, we went to Art Basel, you know what I'm saying? We was doing Art Basel ones. I remember he came out. I remember seeing him, you know what I'm saying? That, like, we wasn't cool at that time.
Yeah.
But like, we started to, like, once the community gets together, and then, like, New York versus everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was more like that. So, at that time I was working on art and all that. I wasn't in the sneaker culture, but I'm always in contact. Like, if I'm in the city, I'll stop by Vote. I'll chill with crack and everyone else for like an hour until they close. Yeah. And then I just bounce. But even prior to that, even before they even opened the store, I did the whole gate. RV hit me up and then we just chilled. I remember that day like yesterday. We ordered food and smoked and we was just talking like the future. You know what I'm saying? So it was all that. So, crack was, Javi was, he was killing it, bro.
Yeah,
like,
he was.
He was the only one that was elevating out of this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, his connections, a lot of people have backdoor connections and stuff like that, but he was building something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For everybody. And especially that community, and it was all wholesome and stuff like that. So
I mean, he would help out Cool Kai while doing his drops out there. Like,
exactly.
Like,
and shout out to Kai for, because I knew Kai. It's a lot of people I knew that's up now. Yeah. I knew Kai when he was doing Club Foreign. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is like way before. And, we grew this relationship, and where honestly, when I did that piece for Crack, it was just for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning to do t-shirts. I wasn't doing, that was, my whole agenda was just to release some stress because the last thing that I got for Crack was the Plains hat.
Yeah.
Because he gave me his car information just to go buy it. You know what I'm saying? So that was the last thing I had of him. And I gave it to Cooley. The hat that he purchased, and they were like the same size. So I just felt like instead of me hoarding it, you know what I'm saying, I'd rather give it to someone that was even closer to Crack, which was Cooley and them. So I gave it to Cooley, and you know, and shout out to Kai for doing the shirts for us. Yeah. Because it was just a very last minute thing. And I was like, I'm on board for it, bro. As long as me and the crew get it first, I don't care how everything goes. I'm fine with that, bro. Yeah. And just to show some type of appreciation of like him and everyone else, bro, like, cause we was hurting, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
we was hurting, bro. I've
seen a lot of you know, long-lived Cracks on my timeline. I didn't know how many people actually like knew him. I've only met him. I ran into him one time at Complex Con, but I really didn't have like a full interaction with him. I know Robbie Digital, like kind of introduced me to him because we were having a conversation, but. Yeah, I didn't really have like I did have like an idea of like, oh, I should probably have him on an episode one time. Hell but yeah, you know, his passing was like just shocked the sneaker community.
It shocked us. Yeah, it shocked me. It shocked everybody. I had people hitting me up with like, is this true? And I woke up to that. Yeah. And I'm here like, what are you talking about?
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we was hurt, bro. Although we was a dysfunctional family, amongst us, like everyone knows who I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Whoever was in this group chat, and we're still in this group chat, you know, dysfunctional family, but we still, you know, hold each other down and shit like that. So it's been like 10 plus years, bro, outside.
Yeah, outside.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I was trying to say I don't know if you read the caption, but like we made history, bro.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? And a lot of shit changed, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I know you mentioned the Plains hat, and now you got a Plains collab. Is that like did you think about that moment? Like, you know, it started with Crack asking you to cop a Plains hat, and now you have your own?
That was like during the thing, honestly. Like he asked me because he seen the hat and he was like, yo, I need that, bro. Yeah. I need that. I'm like, I got you.
Oh, this is the first release where you did
the first release.
Yeah.
This was last year, June 6th.
Yeah.
The way I got that was shout out to my homie Jay from Plains. He was a podcaster as well.
Yannick. That's the homie, man.
That's the homie. Shout out to Jay, bro.
Shout out Jay, man.
And he started a podcast called ISO Boom. So you know that one, right?
Yeah.
So I was on his episode one day, but I was collabing with my boy with that made Save Mankind. And that's how I got in contact with Jay. And he put me as a guest to go talk about sneakers and stories and stuff like that. But he introduced me as an artist. So it's like, cool. And that's when he was working like corporate Foot Locker at the time. And then later on, I think that's when COVID hit, or pre-COVID. This was during COVID, I think. And he just fast forward to different career paths. I believe it was Filas. Don't quote me.
Okay.
But it was like...
He created the Fila Disruptor?
I know he was with a shoe company that, whatever, right? Yeah. And then transferred to Plains.
Yeah.
And maybe like a few months later or a year maybe, I'm not too sure, he hit me with the, yo, you're next.
Yeah. That's fire. Yeah.
Yo, bro, you're next. I'm like, all right, bet. And that's when we started working, bro. Ever since crazy. Now, yeah.
But definitely talk about, because you got the Subway series. I want to hear about this as a Mets fan. I want to hear about the Subway series.
Okay, bet. So like, do you want to hear about how the first Plains came about and then go into that?
Yeah, for sure.
So first Plains last year, June 6th.
Yeah.
Almost a year. You know, we had the meeting, everyone liked it. I was doing a Puerto Rican launch.
Yeah.
That was like the agenda. And also I could get my thing as well, which is the plane.
Yeah.
You know, 2 birds with 1 stone. Everyone loved it. Everything was selling out quick. The hats wasn't supposed to be in the picture.
Oh no.
So they hit me with the, like, when I first had the meeting, they were like, hey, you want you want some hats for your team?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just plain Yankee hats with the plane right here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. And then I could do whatever I want with it, right?
Yeah.
AM PM, shout out to Joe.
Yeah, shout out Joe.
He had his gallery, and shout out to Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff was doing Jeff Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Jeff Rose. He was
Shout out Jeff Rose.
Shout out Jeff Rose, bro.
Recently just did a nice hat pop up as well.
So
I couldn't come
the
to.
same thing last year.
Yeah.
May 9th. He did the same thing last year, right? So I did my hats, right? And I did it in a way of like, I had stars in the front, then the address, and then the Bronx kid who got lucky, and then the Zanes in the back, right?
Yeah.
My vision was to have a fade effect. It wasn't working. I didn't have someone that was trying to do it. That couldn't do it at the time, but I was still working on it, right? So I did the promo hat, for the drop. The whole thing was just the announcement of the hat. The announcement was on the hat.
Yeah, yeah.
It said June 6th, and then the store location, Paper Planes.
Yeah.
So no one was really grasping it at that day until I was telling them, and they're, oh, okay. And then when I actually posted it, everyone just went bonkers.
Yeah.
And then Jay hit me, was like, yo, man, we gotta do this hat some way, somehow. This feedback is insane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, word? All right, let's do it. And then we just did, third party stuff, whatever. And then when the day came, the hat sold out in 12 minutes.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah,
and people was waiting outside the store when it opened. And I wasn't selling it until I got there.
That's crazy.
So everything sold out.
Community gets behind you, man.
Yeah,
Community
bro.
gets behind you, man. I
so
love that.
Now, fast forward, Jay hit me with the round 2.
Running it back.
And it wasn't even him that put me on to this one. It was the team in Plains. Because you know how you're doing your calendar and stuff. Like, who we gonna put this person? They recommended me, and I'm like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
But we gotta do everything early now.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And I was working with New Era since like maybe last year, November. Until now.
Yeah.
And now it's more official tissue because now it's New Era.
They put it together.
They manufactured all my hats.
That's crazy.
And which is mind blowing because it's a lot of politics, bro.
Yeah, I bet.
So I had to deal with Plains had to deal with, but I'm here,
but getting it to
there was from New Era and Yankees.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something on their hat, the Yankees had to get involved.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard it's really hard to get them behind you.
Yeah. So it just transpired like that, and the only thing they were
probably like, you got to do 5 shots at Billy's. The promo shot the promo video that you did too, that you dropped, was dope. Like, I love the subtle hints, just you outside of Yankee Stadium. Like,
oh yeah,
that shit was hard.
So
bro.
That's the way.
And I don't even like Yankee Stadium. I'm a
Mets fan. Yeah. Like, I felt like we was trying to figure out how can we make this very organic.
Yeah.
And I'm very simple, bro. And simple is the way to go.
Yeah.
And
DOTS, don't overthink shit.
Don't overthink shit. Know what I mean? So it was perfect how the icy lady was there. We had to pay her like at least $10 to move.
Yeah.
Just for the shot, and then she went back.
Can you scooch over?
Yeah. If I would, please. I'm paying you. So like, she moved over, and then we did that shot. And then this is before I left to LA.
Oh yeah, for the Fortnite joint. That was fire too, bro.
I just came back like 2 days ago.
Yo, I'm glad you came back to do this, man.
Hell yeah, man.
But you brought a surprise.
Yes.
You want to show this off too?
Yeah. Let me see that.
There you go. And
so this is the official
crazy.
Official 5950 New Era.
I need that.
Yankee, not Yankee. Well, Yankee's right here.
Yankees there.
I got it right here,
Yeah.
but this is the official Subway series with New Era. We got the Zanes in the back fading.
Crazy.
Know what I mean? We got Paper Planes, obviously. Shout out to Paper Planes. And then, we're going into the Q Borough, which is for Queensboro. And then, something simple, and then just a plain, orange and blue. Know what I'm saying? Pin not included, unfortunately, but we got this pin included. But yeah, so this is the new
That's
hat.
sick, man.
And then I'm gonna switch my hat, so you won't see my hair. And then we got the whole Yankee drop too as well, dropping Saturday.
By the time this drops, they'll
it's
be
already
gone.
there.
Yeah, they're gone.
You know what I'm saying? It's
you
already
have to
gone.
get on eBay for them.
Know what I'm saying?
StockX for those.
I mean, you could get StockX with those.
I mean, somebody if
man?
you see this, just go cop.
Go cop.
So we're towards the end of the podcast, man. I want you to deals with. I got a last question that deals with a little bit visualization. I want you to think back when you were a younger kid and you're about to get those Citrus 7s.
Yeah.
Right now, you're you transported behind your younger self. What would you tell your younger self as they open that box?
Take care of them.
Take care of them.
Because it was like I was wearing them down because those were like the only cool shoes I had. So I was trying to like be with everybody, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like funny enough, like I was younger looking at my cousins, like my older cousins, like with the shoes and stuff.
Yeah.
Even my uncle, you know what I mean? Like with the Air Forces, cleaning and, don't be a poop putt.
Don't be a poop putt. That's crazy. I've never
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about, but that's crazy.
You know what I mean? So I was in that era, bro. So it was like, what the hell? And now I surpassed them in a way of like, I got too much shoes, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even wear half of my stuff. It's just sitting.
Comes with the territory now, man.
Comes with the territory, you know what I mean? I ran out of room. I don't have room anymore, you know what I'm saying? So
I got boxes that are being crushed right now because they're just, I never take, usually I'm like, oh, I got to get to the bottom, get the one for the bottom. And I'm like, oh, man. Yeah.
I hate that shit,
it
bro.
Sucks. It sucks.
But for me to tell my younger self, I was about the shoe?
No, just like, what would you tell your younger self as they open that box?
Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going with this. I think I would say that. Like, don't, because I remember the sneakers at the time. I had a shorty at the time. She wasn't into me reselling.
Yeah.
I was paying all the bills.
Yeah.
And it was like, don't listen to her.
Yeah.
I think I would have had a store.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was just whatever. But don't let anyone
dictate
or get you out your zone if you're passionate about something. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would tell my younger self.
Fire,
Open
man.
up that box.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like that. That was dope. Open up
me?
that box. Yeah. Yeah. Let everybody know where to find you one more time.
All platforms, Zane Styles.
Make sure you tap into his art. If you see a mural that he's done, like you did the gate for
I did it for Crack.
Yeah, you did it for Crack, but you also did, I'm talking about recently you did the one for the cuts and slices.
Yes, I did cuts and slices.
Yeah.
Shout out to Randy. That's my brother right there.
Hell yeah.
And I think the most known one right now is the Campout mural on 125th.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you see the 125th one, I have my tag there.
Yeah.
Like my socials is on there. So
tag me when you
tag
find
me.
it.
Yeah,
tag us and this episode number.
Hell yeah.
And you know where to find me. I am who is Haas on all social medias. Follow the podcast at My First Kicks Pod. If you have a story, hit me up. info@myfirstkicks.com. Go to the website, myfirstkicks.com. Cop a shirt, help your boy. And of course, we on YouTube, everything at My First Kicks. You know what we say each week? Wear your kicks.
Wear your
Peace.
kicks.